Hey everybody, Chris, Thunder Laser. I wanted to welcome you to the family because if you're watching this, more than likely you just received your brand new bolt. Today what we're going to do is we're going to get this out of its box and move it over to our workstation. And then a follow-up video will go through setup. But what I'd like to do right now is cut off these nylon straps that are holding the cardboard box and the foam and all of the packing material to its crate. So first thing we're going to do, a pair of scissors will probably work just fine, and cut off all of these nylon straps holding it to the pallet. So once you have that done, then we can start to take the cover off of our box. Now this is pretty well packaged, and the first thing that you're going to run into is taped to the foam is some instructions with some QR codes in the back, and this will get you to the proper websites to really get the ball rolling and get started and get set up. But for right now, let's continue to work on getting this thing out of the box. The next thing that you're going to notice is going to be your toolkit. In here we're going to have miscellaneous things, and during our setup video we'll go through the entire contents of this bag and put this off to the side. Now this thing is heavily foamed for protection and so that there is no damage during shipping. And kind of like any type of boxed up electronics, just carefully remove all of the foam. And make sure you save your packing material. Not very often do we have a problem with our machines, but just in case, it's great to keep the packing around for a little bit, just in case. So once you have most of the foam out, it's going to be very simple. You're going to have to just kind of wiggle this up and out of the way to reveal your beautiful new bolt. It is completely saran wrapped. So either you can use the same pair of scissors and carefully find a good location and go ahead and cut this off. I find pulling the saran wrap away a little bit from the machine will guarantee that I don't scratch my beautiful new Thunderbolt. So upon completely unboxing this machine, do a walk around, visually inspect, note any types of damage, and send a, if something did happen, send a detailed description plus photos into support@thunderlaserusa.com. So once you have all of the saran wrap off of the bottom, we can start to pull off that final piece of foam. And the machine is not extremely heavy when we're talking about some of the other machines that are close to 1,000 pounds, but you are still going to want a little bit of help to lift this up and move it onto your workstation that you've purchased. So once again, visually inspect everything. Make sure everything is in order. Nothing has rattled out of place. It did just take a long voyage. And then also note where things are. There's no time, like the very beginning to start learning where lights are or buttons are and understanding your machine. So as we walk around, everything looks great, packaged very, very well, protected very well, and now it's time to get this off of the pallet and then move it onto our workstation. Again, the workstation, we have a list of about 4 or 5 that we found to fit the needs and a price point that are pretty good. Different price points, but this Husky table right behind me, or right in front of me here, was about $300. You can raise and lower it. It's built pretty sturdy. I chose that one for my situation. Liked it a lot. So we're going to get that up there, and we're going to continue to set this up. But as you can see, the unboxing was very, very straightforward. Nothing major to it. One thing that I am going to recommend is pulling this bottom piece of foam off because it's very difficult to get underneath and lift it. It's kind of suction cupped in. If I try to lift it, it kind of comes with it, so moving it from here to your table might be difficult. So it's just kind of glued on. So if we do that on either side, it's going to give you room to stick your hands underneath, and you and another person should be able to lift this fairly easily. And let's get it on our table and discuss it a little bit more. We'll open some panels and talk about what we find. Likes and clicks.
Yeah, so we're grabbing above the styrofoam, right?
Yes, right above the styrofoam should be good. It's not very heavy, so it should be fairly easy to move. Perfect. And that's all I needed you for. Okay, so now that we have our laser on top of our workstation, I want to go over some of the things that are in our little toolbox here. Or this one actually comes with a tool bag. I'm just going to throw this stuff right back in as I complete. So one of the things it comes with is a laser test. This is something that was done at the factory to ensure that the laser tube is firing correctly, that the signature of the beam is correct. Nothing that you're going to use besides it's just showing you that things are on the up and up. We do get an air puffer, so if we have debris, some dust on our lenses, on our mirrors, we can quickly blow that off. And you have your ignition key or our on and off key. I'm going to leave that there. They give you a Phillips head screwdriver. The tools that we need to adjust and to maintain it come with the kit. We try to make sure that you really don't need anything else besides buying the laser and you're good to go. Allen keys. We're going to use this because there is a Allen key behind this door, Allen bolt. And to open this up, we need to release it. So I'm going to keep this out. You get some lens cleaning solution. So this will help you clean the lens. It'll help you clean the mirrors. Limited supply, but this is very helpful. You have your Q-tip swabs for when you do want to clean your lenses and your mirrors. And we have some magnets, great for standing stuff off of the bed and elevate it. And it's also good to hold stuff down. Very useful. Then we also have our power cord, which we'll get to in a little bit or on another video. And then we have our communication wires. We have a Ethernet wire, and then we also have a USB printer cable, both going over here, and we're going to go over that. And then something that you're going to want to hold on to and save, throw it either back in your bag, or I actually keep my gold card in my machine on the side rails. But this is our gold card for our scanning offsets, and it'll be explained in some of the documentation and through further videos. We have our focal stick. Now it does have an automatic focus, but if you need to focus manually, we do have a way to do that. And then your USB drive, which will have your Lightburn settings that you'll just import into Lightburn once you have that installed. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to get the Allen key I need, and we're going to pick back up. Okay, so I was able to get the Allen key, or the Allen bolt, that is in this hole right here, right underneath the key switch and the emergency stop button. So this will not open. You can continue to try to open it as much as you want, but there is one single bolt up here, right here. Again, here's a picture. And you know, once you release that, you'll be able to have access to this electronics control panel. And in this panel, let me spin this around a little bit. So in this panel, we have our main contactor, a wiring block here. We have our Y and X axis drivers. We have our controller, that's our Z axis. So we have our Z axis as well. Turn it, lock it down, and you're good to go. On the same side, we have our PC port, which is going to be your USB printer cable, our Ethernet, and then also our power plug. On the back side, we have our exhaust fan. Internally, in here, we have our air compressor, and when you go to connect your exhaust, they've already connected everything. You may just want to ensure that everything is tight and secure, but the exhaust side that's going to go to the outside of your house, shop, what have you, is right here. You would just kind of slide it out, and it's accordion style, so you'd be able to just run it right to your wall or out your window or out the door. Open up with these latches. We open up the laser tube. Okay, and this is the laser tube compartment. We have our communications for our tube. We have power supplies. We have 3 power supplies in here, 1 power supply for the tube. We have another 24-volt power supply on the back wall, and a 36 power supply, 36-volt power supply. So these are driving our motors and our other electronics on the machine, lighting, stuff like that. Taking our 120 volts and kicking it down, running our fans to keep everything cool. In here, so this is our tube with all of our fans on top. We have our combining lens, our red dot laser, and mirror number 1. On this side, we have our TL timer, our door trigger sensor, door trigger board, and this is where everything comes into, centrally located. You know, so if one door triggers, everything is being received here. We have all of our relays. So for your air assist, for your exhaust fan, for the rotary, everything is being switched through here. We have our main breaker. We have a noise filter for our line coming in, our AC voltage. And then we also have our Z motor right in here. Again, cleanly designed, well labeled, easy to find everything that you need to find. And you have access here to everything that you need as well. If you needed to adjust your mirrors, for alignment purposes, everything is right here. And here is my gold card. I kind of keep them in here just so I never lose them, and they go with the machine just in case if I ever go to sell something, everything is with the machine. You can keep it in your toolbox or wherever, but just don't lose these. This is very good information. Turn it around again, and this is our working side. We have a really cool light up thunder logo here. We have our debris tray to catch any droppings. So here you have your honeycomb table, which does come out. There are some zip ties, as you can tell, securing this on for shipping purposes. We're going to cut those off. And we're going to pull you over to the inside here to check out some more stuff. Okay, so part of the unboxing is trying to find all of these things that we just showed you, as well as really disconnecting these zip ties that are kept in here for safety reasons while in transport. And I'm just going to, I actually have some wire cutters that I typically use to cut my zip ties. I don't know if a scissor would do it, but a scissor might work just fine. So you have 4 total zip ties. Just be very careful when you're doing this, making sure you're not cutting any of the belts. Of course, don't scratch anything, because it is a pretty machine. So once you have these zip ties undone, you should be able to freely move. We do have another zip tie on this side over here. So one more. Open up the view a little bit. Okay. And let's roll you guys back out a little bit, because we do have one more zip tie that you can see right here. And again, this is all in there for transportation, making sure things don't rattle around and jolt loose. Continuing to explain a couple more parts on this machine, we do have our key switch here, which once we have the electric plugged in, that would turn it on and off. If it does not turn on and off, the first thing you're going to check is your e-stop button. This is your emergency stop. With a quick twist, you can see it pops up. If you ever had an emergency, what you would be doing would be slamming that down to stop all activity and fixing whatever problem that you may have seen. But when lifting and moving, transporting, this is probably going to be down. I believe it ships down. So when you first turn this on, you won't have any power. It may light up, and that's going to be the extent of it. Turn that up, and we should have full functionality with the laser. We have our control panel here. You'll be able to do absolutely everything here. Let me pull off this protective layer. You have your USB, so if you're using a USB stick to transfer your files, that is here. Your U-move, your X and Y, your Z, all of your menu functions are going to be housed within this touch screen. Looking inside, we've already taken off all the zip ties, but we have our head assembly here with 2 bolts to remove the lens assembly to clean it. I would check it to make sure that it is tightened and not loose, because that will mess up your cuts and your engraves. And we have our, if you can see it behind there, I'll move it forward a little bit more. Right here is your air adjustment. So up and down, high volume, low volume air, you can adjust it quickly right here. Mirror number 2, mirror number 3. And that really covers every aspect of all of the parts and pieces of the Thunderbolt. We do have the Thunderbolt camera here up top, and we'll go through that on a later video. All right, well, that is your unboxing and the Thunderbolt at a glance. Basically, we've gone through just about everything there is about this machine, where everything is located. And now we can move on to powering up the machine, getting it communicating with your computer, and start our new projects.